Welcome back to the conclusion of the interview with Joel Gandara, CEO of Morro Capital. Joel owns and operates 13 apparel brands and has a capital investment firm. How does he get it all done? He's going to share in today's episode how he is so effective and how you can use some of these techniques to transform your business. And also, as entrepreneurs, eventually we may want to get our company to the point where we actually sell it. What are buyers looking for? He gives you advice in this area as well.
Welcome to this edition of Peak Performers Podcast with your host, Thor Conklin. Thor will be sharing the necessary tools, strategies, and psychology you'll need to become a peak performer in any area of your life or business.
Thor Conklin here. We give you the tricks, the tips, the tools, the strategy, the technology, and the psychology peak performers use in order to get more done and execute at the highest level. If you know what to do but struggle with getting it all done, or simply want to raise your game to the next level, this podcast is for you. Sit back and enjoy. So, we've learned a lot about your strengths. What's one of your weaknesses?
I have a lot. I probably have a lot more weaknesses than strengths.
We all do.
Yeah, I do. I'm a very impatient person. I've turned that around to use it for the benefit so that we can perform better. But I'm impatient on results sometimes. I'm impatient with people. I've never blown up. I've never yelled at anybody. I've never gotten crazy. It's not like the stories you hear about Steve Jobs and other top CEOs that they go crazy and berate people. I've never in my life done that. But I do get impatient and come on, get with it. You got to be quick. I like people who are above average intelligence. They don't have to be geniuses. I'm definitely not. But I'm average to slightly 1 point above average maybe. So I like that. I want people to be smart and be able to use their brain and move quickly. A bunch of other negatives. I'm not good at any one thing. Kind of, jack of all trades, master of none. But I don't have a skill that I'm the best at. And that kind of sometimes has bothered me. But in the end, it's okay. I heard when I was a kid and Ronald Reagan was the president that he didn't... he wasn't an expert in anything, but he had the right people and they gave him the right notes and he bounced ideas off of them and they helped him make the decisions. And I like that. I surround myself with some people that are much better than me at 99% of the things. I guess what I'm okay at is being the visionary and coming up with some ideas. And by the way, the only reason I could do that and focus on being the visionary and coming up with pretty good ideas sometimes, is because I'm not involved in the day-to-day anymore. I'm not at our warehouse picking items, packing orders. These are all things I used to do. I'm not involved in the day-to-day development of products. I make decisions on them and I oversee it and I get to see some products, but I'm not there. I'm not at the factory checking what fabrics we're using and how are we stitching this. I don't care. And how are we, all those little things I don't do. I focus on what I'm good at.
Yeah, you've got a team now built around you. Hey,
right.
Talk a little bit about the investment arm that you have, and you're going out and you're looking to buy businesses. Tell us some of the things that kind of jump out, because many of us on this show own their own businesses, and at some point may want to sell them. What's some of the advice that you have for them? What's some of the things that you looked at and said, whoa, that's a big red flag, not doing that? Or you walk in and go, this is exactly what I've been looking for.
Yeah. Well, red flags to me and to us when we look at numbers are, I recently reviewed a business that was doing 24 million in sales. They've been doing 20 million plus or 10 million plus for 14 years, but the last few years have been all over $20 million. So it's very attractive. It sounds awesome. It's in an industry that we're already in. Some minor changes, but it was, very close to what we do. Some of the same customers, a lot of the same products, and a huge potential for us to grow in that industry. The problem is they've never made a profit. In 14 years, they never figured out how to make a profit. Well, here's the thing. I can make a lot of businesses today sell $24 million online if they're not profitable, because all I have to do is have deep pockets that I'm willing to waste, and I'm willing to do display ads and Google AdWords and pay-per-click, even though those campaigns are ineffective. So what do I care? What do I care if on this certain search phrase on Google you're selling $100,000 a month? Those are your sales on that search word, but your cost to acquire those customers was $400,000. You know the lifetime value those customers better be giving you? You know, they better be coming around to buy every month if that's how it is. And they're not, because after 14 years of trying to prove yourself online, you still weren't making a profit. Huge red flag. So I don't care about the top line. I hired a business coach years ago. The first time I ever did anything like that, I'd just been told I didn't know what that was. I hired a guy, and he asked me a question, and he said, do you care about your top line sales, your gross sales, or do you care about your net income? And I said, I thought it was a dumb question. I said, my net income, that's all I care about. And he goes, wow, you're the first guy who ever told me that. Because he says that everybody always cares about their gross sales, just grow gross sales. And this person taught me, cut all the expenses, be lean, get that bottom figure to a high percentage, and then go put money to go, grow the business. Because what are you going to grow sales if they're not profitable for? So those are red flags. I'm not, and I don't know if other people are. You hear about things like Dollar Shave Club selling for like $1 billion or whatever it was, and they weren't profitable. That's another world. I don't understand that, and that's not me. I look for a small business that's profitable or is close to profitable, but we can turn it around and make it profitable. My advice, whether it's to sell or me looking to buy or just operating your business, is run it lean. What are all these glamorous expenses for? I could go have a beautiful downtown office and pay $4, $5, $6, $10, $20,000 a month if I wanted to in rent. But why in the world would I do that? What's that going to add back to my pocket? It's kind of like the book, The Millionaire Next Door. That's my philosophy. I run my business and my life that way. I live under my means in personal and business, because it sure leaves a lot more later to be able to invest and do more.
Yeah, absolutely. I just came back from a client's office, and he's got an extremely profitable business. Extremely profitable. Multi-millions. And they're in the basement. They're in the basement. Because you don't make money off your office space. You make you make your money by selling stuff.
Yep.
So, yeah, the smart money, they're not the ones in the ivory towers.
That's right.
So, yeah, it doesn't matter what you take in the top line. It's what you put in your pocket at the end that matters.
Absolutely.
I mentor a group of accelerators. Both Joel and I are in Entrepreneurs Organization. I mentor the guys that are trying to get to $1 million. And the first day I met with them, I said, here's the deal, guys. My job here is to get you to $1 million. That's what they're telling me to do. That's my job here. I'll do that, but I don't give a shit. I'm here to put more money in your pocket. Because if I get you to $1 million, you're not making money, I didn't do my job. And I said, all those guys that you're trying to be part of that group that's all doing the $1 million plus, okay, you want to join our group? I won't, but I tell you, a bunch of them aren't making money. And I said, that's a shame.
That's right.
That's a shame. If you're bringing in $1 million on the top line and you can't figure out how to make money off that, we got to talk. So
yeah, I know a lot of people that, like I said, the company that I reviewed recently, that $24 million in sales, $2 million losses every year. I don't look up to that guy, or that girl, or whoever's running that business. I don't even want them in my group. That's just somebody who's not impressive to me. I'd rather talk to the person doing $500,000 and they're figuring out how to turn that into $200,000 in profit, because those people are out there. That's impressive. I like that better.
Yeah, I keep the guys that are losing the $2 million around because I want to find out what they're doing, so I don't do it.
Yeah, that's right.
So I know execution is at the corner of what you do. I mean, you are a master at execution, and everything that we do here at Peak Performance is talking about execution. What are some of your tricks, your tips, your skills related to execution? How do you get so much done?
I honestly believe that, and I've always said this about myself, that I get more done in a day than most people that I know. Almost every person.
Well, we're listening. Tell us how.
Yeah. So first of all, I'm very hyper. I type about 100 words a minute at 100% accuracy. So my brain works very fast. I don't know that maybe I was just fortunate. I was born with a quick brain, so that helps. So if anybody's out there thinking, I can't focus, it's not necessarily a bad thing. I have that issue. I can't focus a lot. But I leverage resources. We hire virtual assistants to do certain things, and they're overseas, and they're very good at it. I don't want to do those horrible things that I hate to do. And even on my team, I've told people, you don't have to do that either. Outsource it. Get somebody to do that, because in the end, let's say we're just qualifying two self-employed people, and they both have similar businesses. The one who gives up a little bit of income because he or her pays a few other people to do it, sure, initially the first year or two might lose a little bit of money or not make as much. But man, after 2 or 3 years, that person's making a lot more money because they've grown through leveraging people's abilities, using technology to their benefit. And just, in our business, we don't sit around and talk just to talk. When we do talk, our meetings are standing up real quick, or they're a phone call after hours that we might have, and something comes out of it. It's never just chit-chatting. We don't do that. I don't understand people that have meetings. I've never understood that. Everything for me has a purpose, and we're driven, and I'll give you a perfect example. The other day I was jogging and listening to a book called Drive. I believe it's called Drive, and what motivates people and what makes them happy. I paused the book. I called my integrator, for lack of a better word, my right-hand person, who's our COO, and I told him, hey, I just heard this amazing thing in this book, and it's that we could probably let people come in at the time that they want to come in. We don't have to tell them what exact time they need to be there. They're not little kids. They'll figure it out. They need to earn money and work, so they'll probably do what they need to do. He said, absolutely, let's do it. And I said, let me call a few of them and tell them this plan, because I wanted to have the enjoyment of telling them this. Yeah. So I called a few and I said, hey, starting tomorrow morning and from now on, if you have something to do in the morning, don't feel that don't stress out over it. Go do it, and we'll see you when we see you. We know you're going to be in, and we know that if we need you to stay late, you're going to stay late. Those are tips and tricks to keep people happy, to keep people motivated, working for you, and keeping everybody in the right direction. Other things are, I don't let things sit around. I'm very responsive. If you send me an email and it's something that's stupid, I just delete it. I don't need it. It's dumb. That's fine. But if it's something worthwhile, I'm either going to reply and do it right away, or I'm going to forward it to the right person on our team to take care of that right away. And they're all doing that. So imagine we don't have things sitting around. We're not missing out on opportunities. We're not saying, yeah, I got to do that. Yeah. And another thing we do is we schedule things. And that's kind of our philosophy, our culture. If we need to do something, we immediately put it in the calendar and we move on it. We'll get it done. There's no to-do list. I don't have a big long piece of paper on my desk with stuff that I got to do. It's all been scheduled. If I need to do it, I put it in my calendar and we get it done.
I was just going to ask you, how do you determine what to say yes to? Because what you say yes to is a very good indicator of how successful you are, because people that just say yes to everything don't have time for the great things. So you gave some great ideas there. Anything else you want to expand upon?
Well, I say yes to anything that seems like it's a good benefit. Like this could pay off. Let's hear this person out. And yesterday I was pitched on a mattress company, and the person operating, who's been a CEO of a few public companies, came to our office and pitched us to invest in this mattress company. I said yes, because that sounds like, hey, guy's got very good credentials and it seems like a pretty good business. But I say no to more things because I can't waste the time. And I'm honest with the person. I say, that's not up my alley. That's not a big interest to me. I don't want to waste your time and mine. I can't do that. I'm not going to sit in meetings. I'm not going to sit around. I'm going to use my brain for productive things and my time for productive things.
With meetings and such like that, do you set a time table up front to tell the person, look, sure, I'd be more than happy to listen to this, but I've got 28 minutes and that's all I've got?
I do. And that I learned the hard way. Years ago, we were asked by a model, a guy who's a good-looking face, good-looking body, and he's a model for underwear, jeans, clothing. And he wanted a meeting to see if we can help him manufacture a brand, and we absolutely can do that. And we've manufactured for other people in the apparel industry. And man, that guy could talk. He spoke to us for like an hour and a half. We barely got a word in edgewise. I guess everybody does what he says and listens to him. And I didn't know how to cut him off. And I learned from that day on years ago that we set a start time and a finish time. We tell him, I can give you a half hour. Is that okay? Is that going to be enough? But at least the expectation is set ahead of time, and I don't have to do this awkward cutting him off thing.
Yeah. I always try to do that. I always throw in an odd time as well. Because if you tell somebody I've got 30 minutes, they're like, oh, okay, here's an hour.
Yeah.
That's literally, I'll just say, look, I got 28 minutes. I got 27 minutes. And they kind of look at you and go, 27? I'm like, yeah, go.
Yeah, they'll definitely respect your time. Yesterday, out of pure coincidence, because I don't usually do that, but I did tell somebody who had asked me if we could talk, and I told him I can do 9 a.m. or I can do 11:05, and that was the truth. I had something ending exactly at 11, and I needed a couple minutes to get in the car, start driving, put in my address to where I was going next, and I liked it because he said, sure, 11:05. He called me at exactly 11:05, so it kind of feels like I showed that I respect my time, so I hope they will as well.
Absolutely, and you got to those minutes add up too. And if you can start to duplicate, and combine some of these things and take advantage of those short time frames, it's a great way to get more done in your day.
Yeah, and by the way, speaking of that, I consider money and time so similarly. To me, every penny adds up and every minute adds up.
So true. And people waste both of those.
Absolutely.
It's a shame. I always like asking this question. We're all after happiness, success, wealth, being healthy and wise. And, there's books after books after books on, the secret to success, secret to happiness and wealth. And what's the secret to some of these?
Yeah, I think the reason I have found extreme happiness is one starting point, and it's to learn how to see things positively, see the silver lining. Years ago when it first came out, I read the book The Secret, and it really started helping me think differently. I started, and I didn't realize how effective it was until I started talking to people who weren't as positive and hadn't read the book and weren't living that lifestyle, where I've been told many times, well, that's one way to look at it. I guess I didn't see that positive side of it, because I've now learned, and that's one of my greatest successes in my mind, is to learn how to think positively, fight back that negative voice that we all have, because I definitely had it. I remember having arguments with that negative voice, and caving into it. Now I stop that negative voice immediately. I say, why am I feeling this way? What am I thinking? What's the problem? And I talk my way through it.
If you were to go back and you had the opportunity to talk to the 13-year-old you, what would you tell him?
I would not tell him, hey, everything's going to work out fine. Don't stress. Even though I would have probably been happier, that stress is really what motivated me and pushed me, and that fear of poverty and wanting to get out of it. So I guess maybe I would just say, just to give them peace of mind, I would say, look, if you work really hard and really smart and make good decisions and stay out of trouble, things are really going to pay off for you. So I guess to keep it positive, but not too positive, because I don't want my 13-year-old self to think, oh, I'm going to be really well off. Everything's going to be so comfortable.
Just coast.
Yeah, let me take it easy. No, I think part of what helped me benefit is that I had this fear of staying in poverty, and I had a fear of not succeeding. And I remember that as a teenager being asked by somebody, a friend asked me who's older than me, what's your motivation? How come you're doing this much? Because, by the way, in a 7-day work week, I hit as much at a job that I had at 20 years old. I hit 109 hours worked in a Sunday to Saturday period. I was doing 24-hour shifts, going back home for 6 hours sleeping, doing another 20. I mean, I was killing myself because I was saving to build a business, to buy a house, which I did at 22 years old. I bought a house. But I was killing myself. And that friend said, what's motivating you? Why are you doing all this? And at the time I said, it's a fear of failure. I do not want to fail. I want to be a success. So I guess I would tell my 13-year-old self, keep plugging away. It's going to pay off. Just keep working really hard.
And it's turned out just great.
I think so.
I think so too. So tell the audience how they can get a hold of you if they have any questions or want to reach out to you at any point.
Sure. I am very responsive on my email, so if anybody wants to test that, you'll see it. My email is Joel, Joel, followed by my last name, Gandara, G-A, N as in Nancy, D as in David, A-R-A, at morrocapital.com. And that's MORROCAPITAL.com. Joel Gandara at morrocapital.com.
Now, I can't let you leave without at least one of the websites for the men and women out there that want a sexy pair of male thong underwear for the holidays.
Sure. One of them, we have many, but one is Skivvies.com, appropriately named. So it's S-K-I, V as in Victor, I-E-Z.com, Skivvies.com.
That's right. And for the guys, you can kind of like put one of the male posters up on your dream list for the body that you want to envision. Right. Well, where do you find these guys with abs like that?
Yeah, modeling agencies seem to have a million of these guys, and they have factories of them.
Yeah, you might have to keep that that vision board a little private. So when your friends walk in, they're like, "Hey, what's the dude with the guy in the thong underwear?"
Yeah, I don't keep that anywhere.
Joel, what a great interview. Thank you very much. Thanks for agreeing to doing this. I mean, your story is amazing. The tips, the tricks, the strategies, and the psychology that you brought up, world class, man. I know this is only the start. I can't wait to see where this thing goes. I'm proud to know you, so thank you.
Thank you, Thor. It's been fun, and I hope if one person gets something out of it, I'll be very happy.
I got something out of it, man. So already
Awesome.
It's a success. I'm
did
telling you, I love it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Every peak performer that has ever lived or will live does one thing extremely well. They know how to take their ideas and execute on them. Ideas and knowledge are not power, but the ability to execute on them, that is real power. If you consider yourself a peak performer and really want to take your game to the next level and truly master the science of execution, I would like to send you some information about our upcoming event, Business Execution Summit. Simply take your phone and text the word BE Summit, one word, to 41411. And I'll send you some additional information on how to master the most important skill you will ever acquire for your life or your business. Thank you so much for listening today. I really do appreciate your time, and I hope you found today's show valuable. If you would like to receive these shows automatically to your phone or to your computer, simply go to iTunes and subscribe. After listening to several of the shows, if you're so inclined, please leave us a 5-star rating, as this helps us reach additional people and spread the message. If you're truly committed to taking your life to the next level and doing whatever it takes to become a peak performer, but something's holding you back, something is blocking your way, and you just can't seem to figure out what it is, send me an email to info@thorconklin.com, and I'd be more than happy to get on the phone with you. We'll schedule a 15-minute discovery call. No obligation, no cost. I absolutely love to hear from the listeners, and if there's something I can do to help, I'd be more than happy to do that. Also, if you found something of great interest in today's show and you want to share that with your friends and family, simply go to my Facebook page, Thor Conklin. Click on the episode, hit the share button, and share it on your page. You can follow me at Twitter at Thor Conklin. The website is thorconklin.com. We're constantly adding new free resources, discussing additional tricks, tips, tools, and strategies on how to be a peak performer. Remember, I try to keep these episodes short so you can listen to them during dot time, doing other things, commuting, driving, walking, working out. Decide to be a peak performer in all that you do. And until tomorrow, have an absolutely amazing day.